Welcome back to the Out of Bounds podcast. I am Gavin Williams alongside
Charlie Caleri.
And college basketball is back.
Let's go.
That makes me so happy to say.
So excited.
Wow.
So excited for
Words
this season.
cannot describe the excitement for this season. There's
Yeah,
something
we're
about
excited.
this season.
We're excited anytime a season starts. College basketball, man. College basketball.
Just wait till
man.
March.
Wait till March.
And we will be even more excited.
The Out of Bounds podcast was not a thing when March Madness started last year, but it will be this year.
Oh.
And you better believe
You best believe.
we're gonna put our full brackets
Oh, yeah.
on our Instagram.
Yes, we will.
And potentially other social medias we might have by then. Let's see.
We'll see if we can grow by then, you know?
Yeah. A few months down the road though.
Hey,
But
we're
right,
right
now,
yeah.
right now, what are we doing today, Gav?
We will be talking about the Power 6 conferences plus the Atlantic 10 because that's our conference.
It's our conference.
And we will be going through 1 through 5 of where we think the teams will end up. And then for the first seeds of each conference, we will put what seed we think they will be in March Madness. And we will also talk about our Final Four prediction, not just the Final Four, not predicting who will win or who will win the championship.
Just the Final Four.
Just the Final Four. So, with that being said.
As we know, it's completely random, essentially.
Crazy.
So
I mean, last year, I think was the craziest
if
Final
somehow
Four.
one of us guesses the 4 teams exactly, I mean,
We'll give each
that
other
would just be
$20 and a pat on the back.
yep. Yeah. I'll do
shake
that.
on it right
I'll
now.
shake on it right now.
We just shook on it.
We just shook on it right now. It's confirmed.
It is confirmed. Put it in the rule book. Here we go.
Put it in.
Starting out with the Atlantic 10, our conference. At number 5, I have St. Louis. Because St. Louis is a team you can never sleep on. They're always good. Andrew Durr knows he's been through it all with St. Louis. So St. Louis at 5.
I have St. Louis at 5 as well.
They're gonna be the 5th team.
Yeah, probably. I
Number
don't know.
4,
My prediction, I guess.
I have Steph Curry's alma mater,
Oh, really?
Davidson.
I have Duquesne.
I think Davidson had some they had some light in them last year. They beat us in the conference tournament.
They did. I mean, that was a
heartbreak.
heartbreaker right
It was
there.
a heartbreak for us, but
It wasn't even close, really.
no, it wasn't.
No.
And I think they're going to carry that momentum into this year.
I went with Duquesne only because they're bringing back a lot of guys from last year, and last year we lost them in Duquesne. I think we beat them here,
We did.
which is great. So we've split against them this year. But I mean, they're returning a lot of guys like we are this year. That's kind of the story with a lot of A10 teams this
Yeah.
year. Took a big dip, I think, in kind of the conference rankings in the last few seasons. But I think this season we'll see the return of the A10 in
Yes.
maybe them being back to the 7th conference.
Yeah.
Because right now they're treading around 9 or 10. So got to get back up to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the reason you just mentioned, I have Duquesne at 3.
I have Fordham at 3.
Fordham was really good last year, man.
Fordham was really good last
They were
year.
the 1 seed last year.
I think it's going to carry over into this season. I know they're a little bit different than last year.
Yeah,
but-
they had some people who left, and
But
they're
I
still a good basketball school.
Yeah, I think overall, I don't really think it'll change much. I think mostly because of that experience they have from last year, I think will translate well to
Yeah.
this season.
And at number 2, a team who I think will absolutely light up the court this year, except for a Friday night in St. Bonaventure. St. Joseph's will
I
be
have
number 2.
St. Joe's at number 2 as well. Yeah, that game's
That
going to be
it's a
crazy
Friday night.
this year.
Starts at 8:30 p.m.
Is it on ESPN?
I think it's on
Or
ESPN
one of
2.
ESPN 2.
Yeah.
Wow, we moved up from last year. We were on ESPN
U.
U for our Dayton game, which was our big game last year.
That was awesome.
But now,
White out.
if we're on ESPN 2
We're on
this year in
ESPN
the
2.
Riley Center,
We're on ESPN, actually. A little fun fact. I looked the schedule up one day when I was in class.
we
'cause
meaning
Gavin
St.
got a little
Bonaventure,
bored.
if you don't know already.
Yeah.
We are at St. Bonaventure.
Let's go Bonnies.
Who is our number 1 team? But we both ranked Bonaventure number 1.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
But little tidbit. St. Bonaventure plays a national game this year. They are on ESPN, regular ESPN, for the Dayton game.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know
We
that.
were in Dayton for
which
that game.
kind of is a disappointment.
That's very
because the reason why we don't have Dayton in our top 5 is because their
Lot
best
of people,
player,
yeah.
Dayron Holmes, just had an ankle injury, and he's going to be out for what looks to be the whole season. So get well soon to him.
Yeah.
Even though he's in the A10 and we don't like him, but he's still a great basketball player.
Good ball player.
NBA talent.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks to see him go down, but Dayton's not going to be the same without him this year. So that game might not be on ESPN anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope it is, but
I
maybe
think
not.
I hope it is too, but being on ESPN2 at home for such a small school.
That's awesome.
So
I did not know that.
with that being said,
I'm excited. I'm way more excited now.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I was already, but
And it starts at 8:30, so it's a prime time game here at the Riley Center.
So number one, we both have St. Bonaventure.
We'll have St. Bonaventure in the tournament. I have them ranked as an 11 seed.
You have us making the tournament.
Yeah,
I did not put a seed down because I don't think we're gonna make it. The reason I think why we both have Bonaventure, obviously it's a biased take.
Yes.
They're probably closer to 3.
But the depth on this team this year.
Mark Schmidt, he was just talking at his post game presser against Longwood last Monday,
which was a team that we beat that went to the tournament last year.
They went to the tournament the last 2 years, I believe.
And they were good.
Yeah, they changed conferences this year. So now they're leveling up their competition a little bit. I think they won 20+ games the last few seasons. So
yeah.
They were a great team. We only beat them by 4. But
it was a good game.
The depth that we have this year, we have 9 guys who played 15+ minutes in that game, which is unprecedented for a Mark Schmidt team. Usually it's 6 guys.
So
5 guys even with that Iron 5 that we had a few years ago. And last year we usually ran a 6 or 7-man rotation. So expanding that 7. All the way to 9, and with the guys that we brought in like Charles Pride,
Dog,
like
DAWG, Dog,
Capital, all of those,
all caps.
Micah Adams Woods, he looks to be really good, and then including the guys we have back, Daryl Banks, Jan Farrell, not Jan Farrell, Asa, that's what he changed his name to. Chad Venning, obviously back this year. He's going to hopefully be the best center in the A10. And the guy who played well the other night was Barry Evans.
He did. Welcome
who was
back.
A freshman last year. I don't know how much playing time he's going to get this year, but Barry Evans is a fan favorite around here.
Favorite. He's
definitely a fan favorite. Agent Zero. That's what we like to call him.
Kyrell Luke will be coming off the bench.
Coming off the bench. Moses Flowers. List goes on. Those are the guys this year. Noel Brown
from
George
Washington commit transfer. Sorry.
Yeah, he was at George Washington last year.
Looks like a football player on the basketball court.
He is big.
6'11", 265. Big boy.
He's a big boy. He's got to improve on his interior defense a little bit.
He does.
Though, but
he had a couple blocks, though.
Yeah. So with all this being said, I think it's time to announce that we might be doing It's a big might. There's a lot of things in the works right now.
Yep.
But we might be doing a Bonnie's basketball recap or updates or kind of just staying through with the season so you guys can keep track along with us for the Bonnie's basketball season this year and potentially for future seasons too.
I mean, we'll see how it goes. We'll put a plan out on the Instagram when we do have breaking news, if we have breaking news.
Yeah, but that's something to look for in the near future. But for right now, let's move on to the ACC.
My conference, other than the A10. And I have another conference other than the ACC too. But anyways.
And another one. You have a lot of conferences.
But my main 3, A10, ACC,
the
Big
main
10.
3.
But anyways, at number 5, I have Notre Dame. They lost a pretty big point guard. His name's J.J. Starling. He transferred to Syracuse University.
Let's hear your whole top 5.
Okay, so at 5, I have Notre Dame. I think they're still going to be decent. 4, I have North Carolina because I don't see how North Carolina can miss a top 5 in the ACC. And number 3, I have my Syracuse Orange. This is our year. And if it's not this year, it's next year. Because our new coach, who's taking over for Jim Boeheim, Coach Red, he's looking good to these past 2 games. We just have to work on some defense. Syracuse, it's either this year or next year when they want to make a run to try to make the tournament. Number 2, Miami, great Final Four run, especially with Wong, and he's back. And number 1, Duke. I mean, Duke's just going to be great. They got the TikTok dancer on their team now. It's going to be a good team. I have Duke as the 1 seed in the tournament.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
There we go.
Kind of similar to mine. I have Clemson at 5.
Clemson.
I think their basketball program a few years ago was awful.
Oh, my God.
Awful.
Jokes.
Absolute joke. Mostly when their football team was really good, their basketball team was just awful.
Yep.
Kind of like how Georgia is right now.
Yeah.
But
Especially without
they
Anthony
have turned
Edwards.
it around. I don't know what happened in that program. They kind of just showed up, and they finished with above 500 record last year. They were
Turned some guys.
I think they were
they
were in talks to make the tournament last year. They were one of those teams that were like
first 4.
Yeah, first 4 out, next 4 out, one of those. But I think they're going to make that jump this year. So I think they'll be top 5 in the
They also brought
ACC.
in a key transfer that Syracuse fans loved and hated at the same time. Joe Girard III will be joining.
So you guys made a little trade.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Well,
Yeah.
a lot of ACC.
Not a JG3 fan too much.
A lot of ACC transfers in and out.
Yeah, in and out, yeah.
Yeah. At number 4, I have Virginia. There was a perennial school that's going to be in there. I just think the way that I don't know, Syracuse is too young for me right now.
They're
I think
really
next
young.
year maybe I'll have them top 5, but this year I think they're 6 or 7.
Yeah,
right
I hope we prove you wrong.
now. I hope so too. I'm a very casual Cuse fan. Very casual. It's only
Cash.
because I'm from New York State, so that's really why. But
We are except for St. Bonaventure, we are New York's college
we are.
because St. Bonaventure is New York's
We are
college,
New York.
baby.
We are New York.
We run New York.
We run the United States. Yeah, Virginia at 4. I have UNC at 3. Kind of just goes without saying.
Yeah.
Also another perennial program. Miami at 2. Made the Final Four last year. Bringing back Isaiah Wong. Bringing back a lot of their key guys. I mean, I think there's running back. I don't think they're going to make the Final Four again.
No, I don't think so
But
either.
definitely could see them making it to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, it might be like
sure.
a 4 or 5 seed in the tournament.
For sure. Or maybe even better. Who knows? And number 1, I have Duke. I mean, the way that you can flip a program from arguably the greatest coach in college basketball history to a coach with little to no head coaching experience is insane how they did it that quickly. 1 rebuilding year, and you're already
Crazy.
back.
They brought in the number 1 recruit for next year as well.
Yeah. I mean,
Crazy.
Duke is fully back, and they might be even scarier than in years past, which is crazy. So I don't know what's going on.
This might be
there,
the
but
best year since the Zion year. I might say that right
for
now.
sure. I mean, definitely the most hyped up year since the Zion
Yeah.
year. Kyle Filipowski, is that his name?
Filipowski.
Filipowski. Sorry,
Filipowski, yeah.
he's still there, right?
Yep.
And then they have
He's
Jerry
good. He might-
McCann,
yeah,
who
TikTok boy.
yeah, he was brought in, and a few other guys that they brought in too. They have just a great recruiting class
They
in
do.
general. But
I
in
mean,
next
Duke's
year,
always great
in
with
next year
recruits.
too. So, yeah, Duke at number 1.
Yeah.
I have them as a 1 seed in the tournament as well. Probably the number 1 seed in the
Yeah,
tournament.
I would say the number 1.
Yeah.
Like they will end the year as the AP number 1.
Yep, I
They will
agree.
go in as number 1.
I agree.
Big 12 now. Interesting conference, has some dangerous teams in this conference. At number 5, I have a team who had a great run last year, Kansas State. They lost some guys, but something about those purple uniforms maybe put them at 5. I don't know. Some with the light shade of purple with the off shade of purple accents. I didn't really know how to choose 5, so I went with the team that beat Michigan State last year. So put Kansas State at 5. 4, I have Houston. Houston has a lot of hype against them this year, and I just feel like they won't live up to it to be a top 3 team in the Big 12. Then I have 3 for Baylor. I really like Baylor. Ever since that championship game that they won, I've liked Baylor. So I have Baylor at 3. 2, I have Texas. Texas, this should be a really good year for Texas. A big year for them.
This would probably be the only conference I have. Well, besides the ACC, this is the only conference I would have Texas at 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And probably except for the A10. But
Go Bonus.
go Bonus. And at number 1, I have Kansas. Even with losing Grady Dick and company, Kansas is Kansas at the end of the day. And I have them as a 2 seed, actually.
So my Big 12 predictions is I have Iowa State at number 5.
Our boys went there last
Our
year.
boys went there last year. They're not there this year, though. So
They're
that's
playing
kind of
across the
sad.
globe.
Yeah, so Shun and, who was it, Holmes?
Jaron Holmes.
Jaron Holmes was there last year.
Yep.
Both doing their thing overseas right now. Shout out to them. But I got Iowa State. I think they're gonna. They had a heartbreaker loss at
They
the
did.
end of their season last year. I think they'll run it back a little bit this year. I have Baylor at 4. I like Baylor too. I like Baylor basketball a lot. I like Scott Drew. I think he's a great coach. Yeah, I just think they're a great program in general.
Yeah.
And then Houston. I mean, I got them at 3. New to the Big 12 this year, obviously.
Yep.
And their basketball program for what they were in the, what were they, in the American?
Yep.
I mean, that's a Big 12 program. It's been a Big 12 program for the last, probably since COVID. So,
Actually, you know who beat them around COVID in March Madness?
Who?
Syracuse Orange. With Buddy
did they
Boeheim.
really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
To go to the Sweet 16.
That is right. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, I got Houston at 3. I got Texas at 2 and
Holy
Kansas
fuck.
at 1. Texas, I mean, they're bringing back a lot of guys this year, and just their program in general has just been unreal the last few seasons. Kansas, I mean, they brought in Hunter Dickinson from Michigan. Big loss for us. And, yeah, it's a shame because he was our guy for a few years.
I just want to say a little correction that Syracuse got whooped by Houston in the tournament from that year, but that was the Sweet 16 year from Cuse. Didn't mean to.
That was in the Sweet 16?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to startle Syracuse fans there. We got cooked. But anyways, Kansas.
Yeah, Dickinson. He was Michigan's guy the last few seasons. Lost
3.
him. Yeah, and He's going now. It's really sad actually, but he wanted to stay, but for a career choice, decided to go to Kansas.
You know his bio is on Instagram?
No, I don't.
Your favorite 7'2" point guard.
And you know his favorite NFL team is?
This is the Bills?
The Buffalo Bills.
Wow.
Let's move on to the
Interesting.
Big East right now.
I love the Big East. I'm going to put this out there. I think the Big East is the most exciting basketball conference out there.
100%. I 100% agree. There's never a time where there's a Big East conference game on, and well, not never a time. I would say 50% of the time when there's a Big East conference game on compared to another conference, I want to watch the Big East. I don't know why.
I would say 80% of the time.
I don't
I'd
have
rather
any
watch it.
allegiance to any of those schools.
I mean,
Besides a few
Syracuse
people
was
that I
in
know.
there.
Besides a few
Yeah.
people that I know that go to those schools. But other than that, I have no allegiance to any of those schools, but it's still probably my favorite college basketball
It's
conference.
definitely by far. Still kind of mad that Syracuse left that conference because they really fit well in it. But anyways,
I'm mad that everybody left that conference.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
But here we go. Number 5, I have Xavier. Supposed to have a really down year, actually. But, hey, our friend's brother goes there, and I know who to put at 5, so let's go Xavier. Number 4, I have Villanova. I just feel like Villanova's Villanova. But these next 3 teams, I think, will finish ahead of them. Number 3, Creighton. Creighton has been dominant for the past, I'd say probably for the past 7 years. They have been a team to look out for, especially when March comes around. Creighton will always be in it. So there's my reasoning for Creighton. Number 2, Marquette. Marquette, they're coming back with some blood this year. They lost to Michigan State in the tournament. Roll Spartans. But Marquette is just Marquette. They brought back a lot of players. They're going to be a scary team this year. And number 1, I have the reigning champs, UConn. They'll be the 1 seed.
So my Big East prediction this year, Seton Hall at 5.
I like
Give me the Pirates. Give me them at 5.
I always root for
I don't know why.
Yeah.
No clue why. No clue. But because they were ranked 8th, I think, in the preseason poll for
okay.
the Big East. So it's a little bit of a jump there for Seton Hall. But
Yeah.
I'm trusting them this year. I really do.
Big
I don't know why.
Trez.
They finished the season really well last year. They ended on a high note, and I think they're just going to carry that into the season.
Yeah, I like that.
I have the same top 4 as you, just a little bit of a different order. I have Creighton at 4, Villanova at 3.
And then-
So I just flip those.
Okay.
And then I have Marquette at 2, UConn at 1. So Creighton at 4. I mean, I think most of this conference was brought back this year, if I'm not mistaken, like a lot of the players.
Yeah.
But Creighton, they're always there. And Nova obviously is always there too. But I think Nova just has a little bit. I don't know. I don't always trust Creighton, just because they're so reliant on always shooting threes.
They are.
But Nova can just do everything, so I trust them a little bit more. Marquette, they're ranked 6th, I think, right now in the ranking. I mean, which is crazy for
At
them.
the time
so,
of this recording.
yeah, so I mean, good for them. I think they'll be one of the best teams to look out for this year. But I don't see them really going far in March Madness. And then obviously a team who won it all last year, UConn. I don't think you can really put them anywhere but 1 in this conference, but I do have them as a 2 seed in the tournament.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna. I think they'll be like the 5th seed overall.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I think they'll be the best 2 seed, but a 2 seed nonetheless.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I like that one. So moving on from the Big East to the Big Ten.
you always fall back a little bit, after you
Yeah.
win. You always fall back just a little bit.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So for the Big Ten, number 5, I have Indiana. I love those pants. Number 4, I have Illinois. Illinois is gonna be a sleeper this year, in my opinion.
We have the same teams.
Number 3, I have.
Again?
No, I don't think so because my number 3 is a lull. It's a hot take. Number 3 is I'm gonna say it right now, sleeper of the year team. Number 3 will be Penn State.
Wow.
I think they will be the sleeper
What?
of the year. They had a great year last year. They brought in a good coach from VCU. They brought in the best player from VCU. They might be good. I think they're my sleeper of the year. Number 2, I have Purdue. Because I think my Michigan State Spartans will be number 1, and they will claim a number 1 seed in the tournament.
I mean, that's definitely possible. I have Illinois at 5, Indiana at 4. Because I think Indiana, the way that they brought back everybody this year, and just bringing back Jackson Trace Davis.
rest in peace, Bob Knight, by the way.
Rest in peace, Bob Knight. Indiana legend, college basketball legend in general. Yeah, I have Indiana at 4. I think they'll run it back this year. They're an experienced group this year, and they finished strong last year. So making the tournament but not having it go their way, I think will benefit them for this season. I have Maryland at 3, the Terps.
Wow.
Yeah, something about that team this year. I think they're gonna make a run. Number 2, I have your Michigan State Spartans.
Yep.
Which pains me. But, can't put Michigan in there this year.
Roll, fight, win. Victory for MSU.
Then number 1, I have Purdue. I mean, they're bringing back Zach Edey, arguably the best player in the country. But I do have them also as a 2 seed.
Wow.
Yeah.
So some sleepers.
I think the Big Ten teams are all going to beat up on each other. So I think that's why. I think that's why it's going to not be top 4.
I think Michigan State and Purdue will split this year.
Oh, for sure. Actually, bold prediction right now. I think Michigan State wins at Purdue and Purdue wins at Michigan State.
I think the away team wins.
I think, for whatever reason.
I'm going to agree with that prediction right there. So, Big Ten. We'll see what happens. A little down year for the Big Ten for being a Big Ten.
I'm a big Big Ten fan in general,
Yes.
but college basketball, I do love me some Big Ten. Not as much as football, Big Ten, but I think the conference tournament for the Big Ten is always one of the best ones.
Oh my God!
Always one
so
of the best
exciting.
ones.
Gus Johnson, come on.
Oh yeah,
Come on.
iconic.
Wow.
Wow.
So, speaking about a great conference going to a conference, the Pac-12.
Which will be the last year of Pac-12 basketball. Well, with these teams.
With these teams.
With these teams.
So,
With the actual Pac-12 teams.
yes. At number 5, for my football team, Colorado Buffaloes. It's supposed to be a decent year for them, actually. I'll throw them in at number 5. Number 4, notorious school for like the UNC reasoning that you were mentioning earlier, UCLA. I don't think you
They're
can
always
bet
there.
against them.
They're
Yeah.
always there.
Number 3, Washington.
Bold.
Head coach, Syracuse legend, Mike Hopkins, is going to lead this team to be the 3 seed at the end of the year for the Pac-12. Number 2, I have USC. They are exciting. They're hungry. We'll see if Bronny James can get in a little bit.
I hope he does, especially because he had that
Cardiac arrest.
cardiac arrest that happened last month, and he's trending towards, being on the right track to play. And obviously they have Isaiah Collier, so
Yeah. And then at number 1, a school that is just always dominant in basketball, Arizona. And I have them as a 3 seed in the
3
tournament.
seed.
Yeah.
Wow. My number 5 for the Pac-12 is Arizona State.
Ooh.
Kind of a bold
Sun
take.
Devils.
Very similar to my Seton Hall pick, I think. Not ranked initially in even the top 7, but
Something about
I think they were ranked 8th or 9th in the Pac-12 too. But something about them. I don't know. Something about those Sun Devils, man. Number 4, I have Oregon. They're very underrated
Cool
college
court, by the way.
basketball. I hate that court.
I love that
I
court.
hate that court. Very underrated college basketball program. I mean, some great players have come out of that program, including your guy.
My boy PP, Peyton Pritchard.
Peyton
Wow.
Pritchard.
Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that'd be tough to say 10 times fast. Number 3, I have UCLA. Already mentioned them. They're a blue blood. They're always going to be there. I have USC at 2. Those games that those 2 teams play this year will be amazing because USC usually isn't this good in basketball, and
They also lost to Michigan State last year.
It makes sense why they're good, because look at their location.
Yeah.
They're in sunny LA. Why wouldn't those Southern California players want to go play there?
Yeah.
So, and then number 1, I have Arizona.
Yeah.
They're bringing back, or not bringing back, but bringing in Caleb Love from UNC and formerly Michigan. I guess he was a Michigan Wolverine for about maybe a week, if that. And it could have been a really good season with him and Hunter Dickinson, but we lost them both very shortly, close to one another. That was a rough week for me.
Yeah.
Because I thought we were gonna make a run at the championship this year, and now we're not even gonna make the tournament. So I had them as a 1 seed.
Yeah. Wow.
I had them as a 1 seed.
Wow.
I think they're gonna click.
Turn up.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna click right away and turn up right away.
Wow.
Right away. I think they're gonna be the this is my prediction for Arizona this year. I think they're gonna be the last undefeated team.
Okay, I like that.
I think they're gonna be the last
like
undefeated
that.
team.
I like that.
I don't really think they're gonna play anybody that can beat them like Duke can.
Yeah.
So that's why I think they're gonna be the last undefeated team, kind of like Purdue.
Yeah.
Like Purdue was last year.
Okay. Because they didn't really play anybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So, moving on to a conference that's a football conference, but now is also a basketball conference.
Yeah, they're turning into an everything because they're a baseball conference too.
Yeah.
They're trying to get into hockey too as well.
Hopefully they get into lacrosse one day.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'd love to see
That'd
that.
be pretty cool.
I mean, the A10 has a lacrosse.
Yeah.
Let's see a SEC.
Yeah. Why doesn't the SEC have lacrosse? You play that year round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for my SEC top 5, At number 5, I have Texas A&M. It's supposed to be a good year for them. It's supposed to be a really good year for them. Number 4, I have Alabama. I think they're going to run the table this year, but fall short to these 3 teams I have in front of them. Number 3, I have Arkansas. I love this Arkansas team, but these 2 teams in front of them, I think are just scary. Number 2, Kentucky. Wow. I cannot remember the guy's name on top of my head, but D-Book mentioned him in an interview and he talks to him. Dog. Can't remember his name for whatever reason right now. Having a brain fart.
I can't remember either.
But this number 1 team, Tennessee, the Volunteers are going to roll this season. They're going to be good. Watch out for the Volunteers this year. And I have them as a 1 seed in the tournament, actually.
So kind of similar to mine, but a little bit different too because I don't have one of your teams in there. I have Alabama at 5.
Okay.
I think they're gonna not run it back this year, but kind of stay forward in the trajectory of building up a great program.
Which is crazy.
Last year, I mean, that's a year that you only get once in a while,
That's
especially
true.
for a program like that. It was a special year. You got a guy like Brandon Miller. He tried to carry that team as much as he could, and it just kind of fell out. Wheels fell off at the end, and that's how their season ended. But I think Nate Oates is former UB coach, by the way. Nate Oates building up that program really well, and he's doing a great job of making Alabama basketball, trying to make it as close to what Alabama football is.
Which
I guess
is crazy.
The best way possible he can do it. Number 4 is their bitter rival Auburn. I think Bruce Pearl's I think Bruce Pearl's team's gonna turn up this year. Number 3, my sleeper team for the year, Arkansas.
Like this. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Musselman. He's also a Bills fan, I think, too. When
And
they play,
our friend Cam loves them.
yeah. So our friend Cam Dixon, met Musselman when they played in Buffalo for the tournament 2 years ago. They played. Who did they play? Forgot.
I don't remember.
Totally forgot. Vermont.
I think so.
I think they played Vermont. They won, and then they won to go to They were the team that came out of Buffalo for our region, or for their region.
And Cam posted them every year, every single game of March Madness last year when they would win.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
My number
especially when
2
they beat
team,
Kansas.
Texas A&M.
Wow.
Yeah, I do not have Kentucky in my top 5.
Which is respectable. It's supposed to be a here, but I have.
It's
I
supposed to be
still
an A
Calipari,
year
man.
for Kentucky, which I think will still mean that they'll probably be ranked at some point.
Yeah.
And definitely make the tournament. But I think Coach Cal's time is kind of running out. He started off so hot at Kentucky and he's just tapered off so much.
It has.
Yeah, so and the number 1, Tennessee. They're going to be unreal this year. Ziegler and Triple J, another Triple J, Josiah Jordan James.
Yep.
That's his name. Say that 10 times fast.
I can't.
Guarantee you can't do
I
that.
can't.
They're going to turn up this year, and they're going to make a run. They're going to make a deep run. But is it going to be deep enough for the Final Four?
But what seed did you have them at?
Number
Tennessee?
1.
Okay.
Number 1.
Okay.
Yeah. So my 4 number 1 seeds are Tennessee, Arizona, Kansas, and Duke.
Mine were Duke, UConn, Michigan State, and Tennessee.
Oh, pretty similar.
Yeah.
Pretty similar.
So, Final Four. Here we go.
Here we go.
My first prediction: two number 1 seeds will meet. Michigan State and Duke. I think that's a very exciting match if that will happen. Coach Izzo versus new guy on the block.
Yeah.
We will see.
Yeah.
And for my other one, I have UConn and my St. Bonaventure Bonnie. So you will not be able to go to your sister's wedding, Charles. No, I'm just playing. It'll be Purdue.
Yeah, my sister's getting married on the day of the Final Four. Shout out to Maria.
Shout out
first
to
time
Maria.
she's getting shout out. She's always wanted a shout out on the podcast.
Here we go.
She's probably our most loyal listener,
Oh, yeah.
honestly. So shout out to Maria.
Shout out to Maria.
But I will be at your wedding. Don't worry.
Unless St. Bonaventure
Unless
makes
St.
it.
Bonaventure makes the Final Four. Just kidding.
Nah.
For legal reasons. My Final Four prediction. I didn't have the matchups like you did. I just said the 4 teams.
Okay.
But these are my 4 teams. Duke and Kansas.
Okay. I hope they play each
Okay.
other. That'd be awesome.
I hope so too, because this other matchup would go crazy.
Okay.
Arkansas. And I don't even think you're going to be able to guess my other team.
No,
Take
yeah.
one shot. Take one
Okay.
shot and
One
guess.
shot. I'm looking at my list.
So like Duke, Kansas, Arkansas.
I think you have
I've already mentioned them. I'll say that.
yeah. I Texas A&M.
Indiana.
Wow.
Indiana. Give me Indiana this year. I think they're going to turn up and they're going to make a run.
I love it.
I don't know
I love
what about that team. It just feels like they have the pieces to make a run in March. I mean, their coach is great. They have great top players. That's what you need. You need two really good guys at March Madness to get you going in case one guy doesn't play well or they just both play well the whole tournament. And you need good coaching. So simple as that. And they have those pants.
And the pants.
And the bench pants.
And the pants.
So,
and the arena. I mean, that place is special.
Iconic
Wow.
venue. But I think they're going to make a run in March this year.
Yeah.
Boldest prediction of the year. Indiana
like it.
making the Final Four.
I love it, though.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah.
So here we go.
I'm excited for this season.
College basketball is back.
It definitely is. Definitely look out for if we post anything about the Bonnies, about the updates about that. Stay in touch with that. Let us know if you want to see that.
Yeah,
in general.
we would love to see
Yeah.
comments at our Instagram, which is at Out of Bounds Podcast with a dot in between every single word.
Yes, there is, Gavin.
So I think that will conclude this episode for today. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys think it was fun. Maybe it got you past your work day, Dad. Hopefully you got to tune into this one. So with that being said,
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
have a day.